Don't give it up, Sheena, dreaming. Don't give it up, Lloyd, dreaming. Don't give it up, Jadis. Okay. I'm sorry. Welcome to the playthrough. I promise we won't ever do that ever again. Not that I hate One Piece, but I hate One Piece. Guys, it's the playthrough of the playthroughs. A little bit of Dragon Quest here. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm dying. It's the MMO that you don't know, but you should know. Dragon Quest X, and we're back through the Alliance quest so we can match and kill and shill and obey our wills. And this time we're fighting Nocturne. Around the 3rd or 4th episode here, I think. And what we're doing today is completing another quest, another bullshit puzzle that I don't like to get into the actual solution of. So once again, we will be just looking it up. But to start with here, we are once again sent off to uncover more of the Blood Gang and figure out what Nocturne's spell really does to the world, you know? Because he's got a little thing on us, and he's trying to use our bodies to jump within the real world instead of being in his nightmare realm. And it's working! So let's figure out how to destroy this shit. Essentially with this quest, like I said, there's gonna be a little bit of a weird bullshit puzzle that I will take you guys through. You can just follow a solution in this one. This is gonna be quite the helpful video for you if you do play this game. So enjoy. I am but a vessel, but a servant to the gods of video games and YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for allowing me to make my stupid songs and annoy you guys with my retarded voice while we do MMO things. And today, as you can clearly see, we're talking about dreams and we're talking about decisions, because I feel like the two things are intrinsically involved. They're basically the same thing. It's a process to conclusion result. And all in all, when you make a dream, when you have an idea of what the world should be, you have to decide to do it. And that's the main thing that I really want to unpack for you guys here as we go through this decision that I'm making of, you know, recording the video. I don't know, doing the retarded One Piece intro after we already did a music intro. I musicked you and then I musicked you. So I'm sorry for the double music. Apologies there. But you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. Sometimes we plan on our videos and sometimes we retardedly goon it out. But, you know, you always have a dream. And the decision isn't to, you know, make it a good one or make it a certain way, or, you know, the decision is to start. I feel like that's the main one that a lot of people get in the way of dream-wise. But, yeah, over here in MMO land, in MMO realm, I feel like just a lot of things that I imagined would happen back in the day wind up just adding up to what I actually did, what I actually was at the moment. And not this idealized sensation of I'm thinking about it a lot, or I'm trying and making the right connections, or, you know, I'm enlisting all these other people. No, it's just what you do, the decisions you make, you know, build up that sort of environment for you. And all in all, I feel that's the main thing that is lacking in a lot of people, because there's a gigantic air of entitlement, you know, among us, around us, through us, and it's very disturbing because people think because there are so many options, there's so many ways to do, I can just grind in a thing, and it doesn't matter what it is, I'm supposed to get exactly what I want from that thing. And that's just not the way the world works. I fully encourage you to grind in anything, but you can't focus on the results. Just like me, I know this is weird. I know this is stupid. I know a lot of people hate the music, the vibe, the Koopa. But you know what? The Koopa will grow. Your enemies, your ops, will always grow stronger and be louder than the people who love you. You know, so I personally, I only feed off of the hate. I get the love, you know, I store it over there for later. You know, I screenshot it. But then the hate, that's what truly feeds the algo, man. You know, all the dislikes, all the weird, angry comments, all of the background conceit. And I'm always somebody who likes to focus on others, so I see it happen time and time again, and I see the type of creator that truly excels through it. But every time there is hate or attention on a subject or a person, it always grows. It always grows them or the environment. You know, this hate energy, it can't just be expelled. And usually when there's hate energy, you know, you just kill the person. Like in MMOs or like RPGs, and like when there's hate energy, we just kill each other, right? But you can't do that on the internet. You're not supposed to do that in real life anyways. But you know, things have to happen, right? The energy has to go somewhere. So on the internet, the energy goes usually to the person who doesn't care. That's it. That's the only thing. And it's funny because the person who doesn't care has the more leverage in the argument. So whenever I get a giant attack of vitriol, or whenever you get a giant attack of hate or vitriol, your best move is to just shut the fuck up and don't care. Basically act like it didn't happen. Unless you have specific means to clap back with facts or something really funny or you know, whatever you need to clap back with. But usually the best answer is to just shut up and status quo, you know, move on. And to some certain extent you'll get to a level where, you know, the people around you will explicitly ask about it, and I'm not saying not to like address it. The only people that actively don't address things like this are people that are in the wrong. If you're in the right, then I'm not saying don't address it to the people who actually care about you. You know, explain it to them a little bit, but you know, over to this person who started it, over to your attackers, you're not like, they're not in, you know. So it's so funny with the whole Zentreya thing, and you know, I love dating these videos because I like uploading them way afterwards. So it's funny how it all sort of relates and culminates into what I'm doing in the game. I know a lot of people don't like to draw these analogies and conclusions. I'm starting to see more and more creators really just see the reality of life and the way that it is these games, these video games, and RPGs display it so perfectly to me, better than any other genre of video game, that we are using the human experience to dictate the RPG gamer, you know, system, you know, basically logic. And I love just living in MMOs because it feels like an economy that's supposed to make sense instead of this absurd world we live in where I can grind for hours in something and still never get good. And I understand you can do that at MMOs too if you're a fucking idiot, but the thing about life is I'm not a fucking idiot, okay? I'm just gonna say that right here. I think that's maybe the first time I've said that on this channel, but I'm not a fucking idiot. And even me, I've grinded in a lot of things in life, and guess where I'm at? I'm living at my parents' place, you know, just fucking laptop and playing video games and masturbating all day. Like, dude, does this sound like a winner to you? Does this sound like a dream to you? No, but it's a decision. It's what I decided to do, and it's what this absurd world gave me. So many people think that just because I dreamed it and I made the right decisions, I'm entitled to it, and that's just not the way the absurd world works. Your dreams are your decisions, okay? So it's like, it may look different than what you had in your head, but you realize that what we're actually doing is the dream. The thing that we're going through in night, I'm sorry, man. It's gonna hurt, but that shit's just Nocturnus. That shit is just Nocturnus. He is trying to dissuade you from the reality that you're doing right now. You know, and oftentimes it's super disconnected. I can tell you, I got the craziest dreams. That's why I usually fall asleep with white noise, you know, streamers, sometimes music, sometimes movies every now and then. I used to fall asleep to like anime and stuff, and then that moved on to Netflix, and I was like, I can't fall asleep to Netflix. Because Netflix is, I feel like it's like designed to mind warp your brain. I feel like I just need people, you know, gaming in the background or like a playthrough going. I really like documentaries too, and that's one of the things I really like to delve into for Netflix stuff. But yeah, I do need white noise at night to fall asleep because my dreams are so, it feels like real life essentially, but with slight altercations, right? And I realize this, it's the same reason why I can't really get into horror games, or horror movies, because it's just like the immersion just automatically breaks me, except for, you know, the actual jump scares, and I just feel like it's annoying. Like the vividness of reality is caked and coated on me at all times, and I recognize this in myself. So oftentimes I just have to take a back seat and really be like, what are the decisions I am making right now? And I imagine myself in 10 years later, it's like, do I still want to make these same decisions? And looking at it in the moment, I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, I hope this game is still alive for 10 years. But honestly, with the way Square Enix is going, I'm quite doubtful. You know, their last meeting had the shareholders ripping their assholes open. Because they're essentially going against, you know, their quote-unquote dreams with their decisions. And that's so annoying to me. So many of us are doing that to ourselves and acting like we're not. So you have to light 4 flames here, 2 on each side. There are 10 flames available, so make sure you're getting the right ones, the ones that I did here. So it's this middle one, and then this upper one right here. I'll go to the other side and I'll show you the other two. That is the main puzzle here. Now I believe this equates to, I want to say like a dial or like a time of some sort. Um, but I don't remember the puzzle. You know, I really don't. Looking back on this, and it's funny because this is like the second time I've done this. I will get back to you. Maybe we'll live stream it and then I'll explain the puzzle when we do that. But yeah, they tell you it, I believe, in your key items. You get the blue flame oil, or perhaps when we were talking to our guy here. But we're getting this, and then that's gonna allow us to obtain the scroll, which has the spell to make us undying again, so that we won't get destroyed by good old Nurgle, because that spell is that spell's about to fucking go off, my guy. All right, so let's get back here, do that thing. But you got to realize, statistically, there's so many options and things to do. So it's very possible to never get the results that we are truly looking for. And you have to be okay with that. You got to be like, you know what? Damn, man, I'm not the one. I don't got the sauce. And be happy with the allotment of Earth we are allowed, because our options are nearly unlimited. So they have to metagame everything down to very, very, very low rewards. Just because, you know, the skill tree is crazy right now. And with all these happenings happening, with everybody trying to fool you and one-up you and get something over on you, and the whole camera phone economy of people trying to win one over on someone else's morals or righteousness, I understand why people are crashing out, and not understanding why their hard-working decisions didn't lead them anywhere. And it all goes back to the soul, man. All this social media and looking at everybody else's life and opinions and shit, it's bullshit. You don't need it. You don't need anyone else's input on what you want to do. What's gonna attract people to it is the consistency and the fact that you love fucking doing it. That's all you need, really. The crazy thing is, man, if you are stupidly consistent, people will be frustrated with you, you know? And it's like you have to sort of take yourself down to their level in order to be approachable in some ways, because it's just like a mirror, you know, a mirror of their decisions and the shit that they didn't do, even though you don't even look at it that way. You know, you're just moving forward. And so obviously that'll get you attention online, but the problem is what people do with that is that they go give it to someone, when in reality you're just supposed to filter that energy back into yourself and then give it to the people who are there to receive it over and over and over again. And it's such a crazy cycle that it feels like nothing's happening, but your influence is growing, your dreams are expanding, and so many people get trapped in that bubble. And if you don't focus in and lock in on what the fuck you're doing, what the fuck you're building, you will be. And then you'll be like, how did my dream end up this way? I made all the right decisions. But no, you weren't. You really weren't. All of your decisions were kind of like sort of yours, but then, you know, you're talking to this person, and you're talking to this person, and you're networking with them, and you're networking with them, and I'm making music with this person, and I'm collabing with them, and then suddenly, you don't know what the fuck is going on. So that's where the playthrough comes through. That's where the channel comes through. That's where Let's Playing, Let's Understanding comes through, where I can just talk this out with myself, where I can just, you know, I can have all the aspects of it going. And I wouldn't be able to do this if I hadn't spent all that time, you know, squandering my energy for other people's gardens. I wouldn't be able to do this at all, man. So I'm glad. I don't regret any of it. And I realize this is how you have to reframe it. You know, all of your decisions may not have been towards a dream, but you can make them that way. It's just like what I've been talking about all day long, all night long. You're gonna make failures and successes. But when you hit that pillow, when you go down to sleep, you got to make them all positive. You got to transform it. You got to alchemize every single fucking decision. It's like, goddamn, I cut my hand. I was bleeding all over the bathroom floor, and then there was blood everywhere, and then there's a giant puddle, and then I slipped over the puddle, and then I hurt my back, and then now I'm laying in the bed now with my hand wrapped up, and the blood's cleaned. And you know what? That was a lesson. You know, now I know not to work the soap bottle in that way. You know, now I'll be a little bit more careful when I do this. And now I learned a really good remedy or way to lay with my back like this, so that I'm more powerful for next time. That is all you really need to do. Also, we're about to die. So let's fight this boss. Hopefully we'll be able to take the spell off because Nocturnus is coming for us right now. He's coming for us. You see, man, you're never gonna be able to just come up evenly straight and narrow to your dreams. There's always gonna be that guy ready to pull you down, you know, right when the time has come. So if you really want to lock in, you gotta be prepared for that at all times. You know, the shitty thing about life is that evil people always have the preemptive strike, you know? Sometimes, every now and then, if your perception is high enough, yeah, if you're schizoed out enough, and you can just see this shit before it comes, and honestly, you're never gonna get there unless you spend a lot of time by yourself and upgrade your skill of intuition. And just learn to believe yourself. I feel like a lot of people have this very good skill, but they just listen to everybody else because, oh, they have more experience than me, they're smarter than me, you know, they've gone through more life. I can tell you, man, there's been a lot of 30-year-olds, a lot of 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds that are fucking retarded, and then there's people younger than me that are just filled with wisdom, as if they are in New Game Plus. I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know, and then they hit their finger with a hammer, and I'm like, oh well, there's this debuff. But yeah, it's basically what I'm saying is everybody has their own choices on how to upgrade their character, and a lot of people disregard their skill points in order to siphon energy from others. You know, it's like, oh man, they're giving me H-pathy every day, so I don't need to upgrade. I can stay at the skill level. You know, I don't care. People do that all the time because it's easier, and it's not really that it really is super easy to do this. It's just that it's natural. You know, we are animals at the end of the day. And you see all this crazy shit happening with shootings in school, you know, apocalyptic shit going on, and riots and all this shit. It's because the system's broken, man. The system is broken. Nobody has anywhere to go, and so we're reverting back to animals. That's it. The only way to really stop it is to take things away from us. You know, take more responsibilities away from us. Because we've honestly been given too much. You know, it doesn't matter what they take from us, but that's the only way to solve it. Really, is just with restrictions. You know, and with this horrible government, you know, they're probably just gonna start restricting the fun stuff first. You know, hilariously, that's what I would do if I was the government. You know, but a lot of people are trying to restrict the things that are supposed to keep us safe first, and I'm like, guys, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. You know. Especially since, like I said, the evil people are always going to have the preemptive strike. So if the evil people have the preemptive strike, and we're all powerless, hello? Is this a good thing? It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. You know? I'd say, though, if you are in America, probably the safest place to be when it all pops off. Definitely Texas. Definitely Texas. There's a lot of, we'll say it, hero players in that PvP zone, you know? There's a lot of people with the overprotection bias complex. And that's not a bad thing, guys. We all live in different kinds of environments. You gotta utilize where you are to the best of your extent. I am in the Americas, so I gotta utilize my ability to freely speak, you know? Shout outs to England. Shout outs to my Brits. I gotta use my ability to freely speak in order to lead people toward the truth. This is 2025. This is Year of the Truth. I'm rounding you guys off with some beautiful things. But we always need to do more. We always need to be more, essentially. I feel like that's the one rule of life. You know, it's don't die, and if you are a masculine man, and not a fucking ninny-ass, bitch-ass woman, then you grow. Women don't have to. You are born. You are hot. We will protect you. Chill out, okay? Chill the fuck out. I know you can't handle growth. But if you're a guy, you should just want that. Hello? Like every dude loves the fucking grind in GTA, the fucking Call of Duty, getting new weapon skins and shit. You know, the Madden, adding players to your team, and getting everybody loves that. So I don't know why you can't just take that into real life. I know it sucks to take that into real life and to actually work for skills, and we all just want a girlfriend to goon to, because once again, she's a woman, she doesn't need to grow. You can. I'm not saying that's like not an option for you. I'm just saying it's a lot more stressful for you. We can handle this shit, right? It's easy. We love it. We fucking love it. And the more I go through this pain, the more I keep making stupid decisions, the more I fail and fail and fail and fail, and then I get that one win. I'm like, God damn it, the fails felt a little better. Like no lie, the fails felt a little better, especially since when you win, everybody start looking at your ass. Like, why can't I do that? Why can't I do blah, blah, blah? And it doesn't even feel good because everybody's looking at you like it was so easy for this fucking idiot. Look at him. Ugh, how does he grow so easily? Ugh, how is his cock so fucking large? Ugh, I just... fucking loser, man. And I understand why people want to be winners, but I don't think you really understand the attitude of somebody who just wants to be left alone and grow. And it's not like I never want to talk to anybody, but I feel very, very, very out of place in large circles because my awareness is tuned too high. I notice every glance, every pass, every look, everything, and I can't help but express what I do. You know, if there's a camera on me right now, I guarantee I get way more fucking views, but I don't want that shit because it's not about that. It's about me liking what I'm doing. It's about me having a good time producing the content, making the content, living through the content, being in the moment in the content, and also just enjoying my fucking life. I'm enjoying my fucking life doing it this way, you know? I do a little thing here, I make a little music here, I have a little fun here, maybe I make a little cosplay here, I get one good comment. All I really need. And yeah, I think that's what really kills your decisions, is your entitlement, you know? We all just have to make the decision. It's gonna be a good one, it's gonna be a bad one. I don't fucking know. Who cares, okay? But you made it. And that is your dream. Whatever you have in your head means nothing. It is what you do, is literally what you're dreaming to make happen. So stop being entitled. Live your dreams instead of dreaming them. And I will see you next time. Ayo, ayo.